The screen is black. Then, a spark. An engine coughs to life. The camera slowly fades into a dusty racetrack somewhere in North Carolina. The air is thick with heat, noise, and anticipation. Cars slide through corners, kicking up dirt as if the earth itself is trying to hold them back. But one car refuses to slow down. And in that moment, long before the world knew his name, a legend was already forming. Dale Earnhardt was born on April 29, 1951, in Kannapolis, North Carolina, a place where life wasn't polished and nothing came easy. It was a town built on labor. People worked hard. They didn't complain. They endured. And in the Earnhardt household, toughness wasn't taught. It was expected. His father, Ralph Earnhardt, was already carving out a name in stock car racing. He wasn't flashy, he didn't chase attention, but on the track, he was relentless. Young Dale didn't grow up dreaming of racing. He grew up inside it. Weekends weren't spent playing. They were spent watching his father battle wheel to wheel with other drivers, learning lessons that couldn't be taught in classrooms. Lessons about fear, about control, about survival, and slowly, those lessons shaped him. School never stood a chance. While other kids memorized lessons, Dale memorized engine sounds. While teachers talked about futures, Dale was already living his. By ninth grade, he made a decision that shocked many. He walked away from school. No backup plan, no safety net, just belief. To the outside world, it looked like failure. But to Dale, it was the beginning. The early years were brutal. There was no spotlight, no money, no guarantees. Dale Earnhardt worked wherever he could, mechanic shops, welding jobs, anything that kept him connected to machines. And when the sun went down, he raced. Small tracks, tight corners, unforgiving competition. Sometimes he didn't even have the best car. Sometimes he barely had a working car. But he had something else. Hunger. Racing at that level wasn't glamorous. It was violent. Cars crashed, tempers flared, wins were rare, and for a long time Dale was just another driver trying to survive. But there was something different about him. He didn't back down, not from better drivers, not from bigger names, not from danger. If anything, he leaned into it. Then came 1979. The moment everything changed. A chance, small, uncertain, but real. A shot in NASCAR's top division. For many drivers, that opportunity would bring pressure. For Dale, it brought clarity. This was it. What happened next shocked everyone. In 1980, in just his second full season, Dale Earnhardt won the championship. It wasn't supposed to happen that fast. It wasn't supposed to be that easy. But Dale didn't follow expectations. He rewrote them. The message was clear. He wasn't just here to compete. He was here to take over. But success came with a cost. Because the higher you rise, the more people want to see you fall. And for Dale Earnhardt, the real battle was just beginning. The sound of engines returns. Louder, faster, more aggressive. The camera cuts to packed stadiums, roaring crowds, and high-speed chaos. NASCAR had changed. And at the center of it all was one man. By the mid-1980s, Dale Earnhardt was no longer just a champion. He was a presence, a force, a problem no driver could ignore. His driving style became legendary. aggressive, fearless, unapologetic. If there was a gap, he took it. If there wasn't, he made one. And if another driver stood in his way, they didn't stay there for long. That's how the nickname was born, the Intimidator. It wasn't just about how he drove. It was about how he made others feel. You could be leading a race, confident, in control, but the moment you saw that black number 3 car in your mirror, everything changed. Because racing against Dale Earnhardt wasn't just physical. It was psychological. He got inside your head, made you doubt, made you hesitate. And in racing, hesitation is everything. Wins started stacking up. Championships followed. 7 in total, tying the legendary Richard Petty. 76 career victories. But numbers alone couldn't explain his impact. Because Dale wasn't just winning. He was dominating an era. Yet, for all his success, there was one race that refused to bow to him. The Daytona 500, NASCAR's biggest stage, the race every driver dreams of winning. And year after year, it slipped away. It didn't make sense. How could one of the greatest drivers of all time fail to win the biggest race? Crash after crash, close call after close call. The frustration grew. The pressure built. But Dale didn't quit. He never did. Then came 1998. Everything aligned. The focus, the timing, the determination. Lap after lap, Dale Earnhardt stayed locked in. No mistakes. No fear, just control. And then, the checkered flag. He had done it. After 20 attempts, he finally won the Daytona 500. What happened next became one of the most iconic moments in sports history. Every crew member, every team, they lined up along pit road, applauding, respecting, acknowledging something bigger than a win. It wasn't just victory. It was redemption. But even legends don't get to control how their story ends. February 18th, 2001. The Daytona 500 once again. The crowd is electric. The stakes are high. But this time, something feels different. Dale Earnhardt isn't racing for himself. He's racing for his team, for his son, for something bigger. His son, Dale Earnhardt Jr., is in contention. And Dale does something unexpected. He protects, blocks other drivers, holds his line, sacrifices position. It's not about winning anymore. It's about legacy. Then, in a split second, everything changes. A slight contact, a sudden turn, a hard impact into the wall, silence. At first, it doesn't seem real. Crashes happen. Dale has survived worse. But this time, he doesn't get up. When the news spreads that Dale Earnhardt has died, the world stops. Fans cry. Drivers break down. The sport is shaken to its core. He was 49 years old, gone at the very place where he became a legend. But his story doesn't end there, because his impact changed everything. After his death, NASCAR transformed. Safety became a priority like never before. Cars were redesigned, protective systems improved, lives were saved. And beyond safety, there was legacy. Every fearless driver, every aggressive move, every moment of courage on the track carries a piece of him. Because Dale Earnhardt wasn't just a racer. He was a symbol of grit, of determination, of refusing to back down no matter the cost. He wasn't perfect. He wasn't easy. He wasn't soft, but he was real. And in a world built on speed, he became timeless. In the world of gymnastics, where perfection is demanded and mistakes are punished in fractions of a second, one name rose above all others, rewriting the limits of the human body and spirit: Simone Biles. This is not just the story of medals or records. This is the story of survival, resilience, and redefining greatness. Simone Ariane Biles was born on March 14, 1997, in Columbus. From the very beginning, life was unstable. Her biological mother struggled with addiction, and Simone, along with her siblings, spent their early years moving through foster care. The system was unpredictable. Homes changed, routines disappeared, and certainty was a luxury they didn't have. But amid the chaos, there was a turning point. Her maternal grandparents, Ron Biles and Nellie Biles, made a life-changing decision. They adopted Simone and her younger sister, bringing them to Spring. It was there, in a stable home, filled with discipline and love, that Simone's life truly began. She was 6 years old when she first discovered gymnastics, not through a grand plan, but on a daycare field trip. While other kids followed instructions, Simone wandered off, mimicking the moves of older gymnasts. Coaches noticed immediately there was something different about her: raw power, fearless movement, and an instinct that couldn't be taught. They told her family she needed training. And just like that, a legend began. Simone trained at Bannon's Gymnastics, later moving to World Champions Center, under the guidance of coaches who quickly realized they weren't working with an ordinary athlete. While most gymnasts struggled to master fundamentals, Simone was inventing possibilities. Her body defied physics. Her height, strength allowed her to launch higher, twist faster, and land harder skills than anyone else. But talent alone doesn't build greatness. Simone was homeschooled to focus on training. Days blurred into routines of repetition, flips, falls, retries. Injuries came, doubt crept in. Gymnastics is unforgiving, and for a young girl carrying the weight of expectation, it could have been overwhelming. But Simone had something deeper than ambition. She had perspective. She knew her rise through junior competitions was meteoric. By 2013, Simone stepped onto the senior international stage, and everything changed. At the World Championships in Antwerp, she didn't just compete, she dominated. Simone won 2 gold medals, including the all-around title. The gymnastics world took notice. But what they saw was only the beginning. Over the next few years, Simone would become nearly unbeatable. At the 2014 and 2015 World Championships, she continued her reign, stacking gold medals and performing routines so difficult they forced judges to rethink scoring. She wasn't just winning. She was redefining the sport. Moves that no woman had ever attempted became her signature. The Biles, a series of skills named after her, entered the code of points, cementing her legacy not just as a champion, but as an innovator. Then came Rio 2016 Olympics. Everything. For Simone, it became a coronation. She won 4 gold medals and 1 bronze, dominating the competition with a level of confidence rarely seen. Her performances were electric, powerful, yet precise, daring yet controlled. The world watched in awe. She smiled, danced, and celebrated with a joy that made her victories feel human. She wasn't just the best gymnast, she was relatable, charismatic, real. And yet, behind the scenes, Simone carried a secret weight. In 2018, Simone revealed she was one of the survivors of abuse by former USA Gymnastics Dr. Larry Nassar. The revelation shook the sports world. For years, athletes had been silenced. But now, Simone, arguably the greatest gymnast of all time, was speaking out. Her voice became part of a larger movement demanding accountability and change. It was one of the most difficult moments of her life. But she refused to be defined by it. Instead, she transformed pain into purpose, becoming an advocate for athlete safety and mental health. After Rio, Simone took a brief break. Many wondered if she would return. She had already achieved more than most athletes dream of. But Simone wasn't done. When she came back, she was even better. At the 2019 World Championships in Stuttgart, she delivered one of the most dominant performances in history, winning 5 gold medals and performing skills so complex they were considered nearly impossible. She stood alone at the top. Then came Tokyo 2020 Olympics. The world expected dominance. Another sweep, another display of greatness. But what happened instead became one of the most important moments in sports history. During the competition, Simone experienced what gymnasts call the twisties, a dangerous mental block where the body and mind lose synchronization mid-air. For a gymnast performing high-risk skills, it's life-threatening. Simone made a decision. She withdrew. Not because she couldn't compete, but because she chose her safety and mental health over expectation. The reaction was divided. Some criticized her, others praised her courage. But what Simone did was bigger than medals. She changed the conversation. For decades, athletes were taught to push through pain, to ignore mental strain, to sacrifice everything for victory. Simone challenged that narrative on the world's biggest stage. And in doing so, she became something even greater than a champion. She became a symbol. Despite stepping back, Simone returned later in the games to win a bronze medal on the balance beam, a quiet, powerful reminder of her resilience. She didn't need to prove anything. She already had. In the years that followed, Simone focused on healing, growth, and life beyond gymnastics. She became a global icon, not just for her achievements, but for her authenticity. She spoke openly about therapy, mental health, and the importance of knowing your limits. And when she returned to competition again, it wasn't to reclaim greatness. It was to redefine it. Simone Biles' story isn't just about being the best. It's about what it means to rise again and again, no matter where you start. From foster care in Columbus to Olympic glory, from silence to speaking out, from perfection to humanity. She didn't just defy gravity, she defied expectations. And in doing so, she reminded the world that true strength isn't just measured in medals. It's measured in courage. In a sport built on balance, Simone Biles taught the world something far more important than how to land. She taught us how to stand. And sometimes, how to step back so you can rise even higher.
There are athletes who become great, and then there are those who arrive like lightning, brilliant, unstoppable, and gone too soon. Gale Sayers was the latter. They didn't just call him good. They called him the Kansas Comet, because when he touched the ball, time seemed to bend around him. This is not just a story about football. It's about grace, pain, loyalty, and a friendship that would define a legacy far beyond the game. Gail Eugene Sayers was born on May 30th, 1943, in Wichita, Kansas. But it was in Omaha, Nebraska that his story truly began to take shape. Raised in a disciplined household, Sayers grew up under the guidance of his father, a mechanic, and his mother, a homemaker who instilled quiet strength in him. From a young age, it was clear he moved differently. Not just fast, but fluid, effortless, as if he were gliding rather than running. At Omaha Central High School, Sayers became a multi-sport star. Football, basketball, track, he dominated them all. But even then, what stood out wasn't just his ability, it was his humility. He didn't boast, he didn't celebrate wildly, he simply performed. And people noticed. His journey took him to University of Kansas, where he would begin carving his name into college football history. At Kansas, Sayers was electric. He didn't just run past defenders, he erased them. One moment they were in position, the next they were grabbing at air. He became a return specialist, a running back, and a nightmare for every team that faced him. In one unforgettable game against University of Nebraska Cornhuskers, Sayers returned a punt 99 yards for a touchdown, one of many jaw-dropping plays that would define his college career. By the time he left Kansas, he wasn't just a star. He was a phenomenon. In 1965, the Chicago Bears selected Gail Sayers in the NFL draft. The expectations were high, but what happened next went beyond anything anyone imagined. His rookie season was historic. In a single game against the San Francisco 49ers, Sayers scored 6 touchdowns, tying an NFL record that still stands today. 6 touchdowns. It wasn't just a number, it was how he did it. Runs, receptions, returns, he could score from anywhere on the field. Every time he touched the ball, the stadium held its breath, because something incredible might happen. And usually, it did. He was named Rookie of the Year. But even that felt like an understatement. Then came 1966. Sayers elevated from brilliant to unstoppable. He led the league in rushing yards and touchdowns. His agility, vision, and acceleration made him nearly impossible to contain. He didn't overpower defenders. He outthought and outmoved them. It was art. Football as poetry. But amid all the glory, something deeper was forming. A bond that would become one of the most iconic friendships in sports history. Enter Brian Piccolo. Piccolo was everything. Sayers was not. Loud, fiery, relentless. Where Sayers was quiet, Piccolo was outspoken. Where Sayers glided, Piccolo fought for every inch. Yet somehow, they became inseparable. In an era still marked by racial division, Sayers, a black man, and Piccolo, a white man, became roommates, the first interracial pair in Bears history. It wasn't just symbolic. It was real. They laughed together, competed together, pushed each other, and in that locker room, something powerful happened. Barriers broke down. Then everything changed. In 1968, during a game, Sayers planted his leg and his knee gave out. The diagnosis: torn ligaments. At the time, it was a devastating injury, often career-ending. The Comet had crashed. Doctors weren't sure he'd ever be the same. Some doubted he'd even return. But Sayers wasn't finished. The rehab was brutal. Pain, doubt, endless repetition, and through it all, Brian Piccolo was there, encouraging him, challenging him, refusing to let him quit. Their friendship deepened, not through victories, but through struggle. And against the odds, Sayers came back in 1969. Not just back, he led the league in rushing again. It was one of the greatest comeback seasons in NFL history. For it, he was named the NFL Comeback Player of the Year. The Comet had risen again. But fate wasn't done testing them. That same year, Brian Piccolo was diagnosed with cancer. Suddenly, the game didn't matter. The touchdowns didn't matter. Only time did. Sayers stood by his friend the same way Piccolo had stood by him. In hospitals, in silence, in hope. But on June 16, 1970, Brian Piccolo passed away at just 26 years old. The loss was devastating. Shortly after, at an award ceremony, Gale Sayers stepped to the podium to accept the George Halas Award. His speech would become one of the most emotional moments in sports history. "I love Brian Piccolo," he said, "and I'd like all of you to love him too." It wasn't just a tribute. It was a declaration of brotherhood, of humanity, of something bigger than football. Sayers continued to play, but his body was no longer the same. The injuries had taken their toll. By 1971, at just 28 years old, Gale Sayers retired from the NFL. His career was short, but his impact? Endless. He finished with over 9,000 all-purpose yards and 56 touchdowns in just 68 games. Numbers that don't just impress, they astonish. In 1977, he was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame at the age of 34, the youngest inductee at the time. Because greatness doesn't need time, just brilliance. After football, Sayers built a successful career in business and later returned to his alma mater, the University of Kansas, serving in athletic administration. He remained a symbol, not just of athletic excellence, but of character, of grace under pressure, of quiet strength. In his later years, Sayers faced another battle: dementia, a condition believed to be linked to the physical toll of his playing days. Even then, those who knew him said his spirit never changed. Still humble, still kind, still Gale. On September 23, 2020, Gale Sayers passed away at the age of 77. But legends don't disappear. They echo. In every broken tackle, in every impossible run, in every act of loyalty between teammates. Because Gale Sayers wasn't just a football player. He was a reminder that greatness isn't just measured in yards or touchdowns, but in how you move through life with elegance, with courage, with heart. And somewhere in the memory of every fan who ever watched him run, the Comet still flies. Long before the world stood still to watch him race, before the cameras, the medals, and the roaring stadiums, Usain Bolt was just a boy running barefoot through the hills of Trelawney Parish. The roads were uneven, the air was thick with tropical heat, and life moved at a slower pace. But even then, there was something unusually fast about him, something no one could quite explain. Bolt's childhood was filled with laughter, competition, and simplicity. He spent countless hours playing cricket and football with friends, often losing track of time until his parents called him home. Running wasn't a profession. It was just something he did naturally. If there was a race, he won it. If there was a challenge, he accepted it. His parents, hard-working and disciplined, instilled values of humility and perseverance. They didn't push him toward athletics. In fact, like many parents, they simply wanted him to succeed in life, whatever path he chose. But destiny had its own plans. At school, Bolt's speed quickly became impossible to ignore. Teachers noticed it first, then coaches. During races, he didn't just win, he dominated. Other children struggled to keep up, often finishing several steps behind him. It wasn't just that he was fast, it was how effortlessly he ran, as though he wasn't even trying. When he enrolled at William Knibb Memorial High School, everything began to change. There, under the guidance of Pablo McNeil, Bolt started to take sprinting seriously. McNeil saw more than raw speed. He saw potential greatness. But Bolt was still a teenager. Discipline didn't come naturally to him. He enjoyed joking around, skipping intense training sessions, and living life freely. At times, his coaches grew frustrated. They knew he could be the best, but only if he committed fully. Despite this, Bolt's talent carried him far. At just 15, he made history at the 2002 World Junior Championships in Kingston, becoming the youngest gold medalist ever. It was a moment that announced him to the world, but also marked the beginning of rising expectations. Fame came early, and with it came pressure. As Bolt transitioned into professional athletics, his journey became more complicated. His body, still developing, struggled under the intense physical demands. Injuries became a constant obstacle, especially hamstring problems that disrupted his training and competitions. At the Athens Olympics 2004, Bolt entered the global stage for the first time. But instead of triumph, he faced disappointment. Injured and unprepared, he was eliminated early. For many young athletes, such a setback could have ended their dreams. But for Bolt, it became a turning point. He realized that talent alone would not be enough. If he wanted to dominate the world, he needed discipline, structure, and a new mindset. That transformation began when he started working with Glenn Mills. Mills was not just a coach. He was a strategist, a mentor, and a believer. He saw in Bolt something rare, not just physical ability, but the potential to redefine the sport itself. Under Mills' guidance, Bolt's training changed completely. His technique was refined, his posture corrected, and his strength improved. For a tall sprinter, standing at 6'5", these adjustments were crucial. Traditionally, sprinters were shorter and more compact. Bolt had to learn how to use his height as an advantage rather than a limitation. Training sessions became more intense. There were no shortcuts anymore. Bolt began to understand that greatness required sacrifice. By 2007, he was already making waves in the 200 meters. But something unexpected was about to happen. Something that would change sprinting forever. At the Beijing Olympics 2008, Bolt decided to compete in the 100 meters, an event he hadn't fully focused on before. The world watched with curiosity, but no one was prepared for what they were about to witness. In the final, Bolt exploded from the starting blocks. Within seconds, he separated himself from the competition. His strides were long, powerful, and perfectly timed. And then, in a moment that would become legendary, he began celebrating before crossing the finish line. Arms spread wide, chest forward, pure confidence. He clocked 9.69 seconds, a world record. The image traveled across the globe instantly. It wasn't just a victory, it was a statement. Sprinting had a new king. Bolt didn't stop there. In the 200 meters, he broke another world record, becoming the first man since Carl Lewis to win both events at the Olympics. Suddenly, Bolt wasn't just famous, he was a global phenomenon. But the peak of his dominance came a year later. At the World Championships 2009 in Berlin, Bolt delivered performances that defied science. He ran 9.58 seconds in the 100 meters and 19.19 seconds in the 200 meters. Times so fast that even experts struggled to explain them. These records still stand today. Scientists analyzed his stride length, frequency, and biomechanics. They found that Bolt covered more ground with each step than any sprinter before him. His top speed, combined with his relaxed running style, made him nearly unbeatable. Yet what made Bolt truly unique wasn't just his speed, it was his personality. He danced before races, he smiled at cameras, he entertained crowds. While other athletes remained serious and focused, Bolt brought joy to the track. His signature pose became one of the most recognizable gestures in the world. Some critics initially questioned his relaxed attitude. They wondered if he lacked seriousness. But time proved them wrong. Bolt showed that confidence and enjoyment could coexist with excellence. His rivalry with athletes like Tyson Gay and Johan Blake added excitement to the sport. These were world-class sprinters, fast, disciplined, and determined. But when it mattered most, Bolt consistently found another level. At the London Olympics 2012, he defended his titles, proving that Beijing was no fluke. At the Rio Olympics 2016, he completed the triple-triple, cementing his place as the greatest sprinter in history. Crowds didn't just watch Bolt, they experienced him. Stadiums filled with anticipation whenever he stepped onto the track. Cameras followed his every move. Children across the world mimicked his running style and signature pose. He became more than an athlete. He became a symbol of excellence, confidence, and global unity. But no career lasts forever. At the World Championships 2017, Bolt prepared for his final races. The expectations were enormous. Fans wanted one last moment of magic. In the 100 meters final, he finished third. It was a rare defeat. In the relay, injury struck again, forcing him to pull up before the finish line. It wasn't the ending many had imagined, but it was real. It showed that even legends are human. After retiring, Bolt explored new paths. He pursued his passion for football, trained with professional teams, and remained active in global sports culture. He also ventured into business and philanthropy, using his platform to inspire future generations. Today, Bolt's legacy extends far beyond medals and records. He changed how people see athletics. He made sprinting exciting, emotional, and global. He proved that greatness isn't just about winning. It's about how you win, how you inspire, and how you connect with the world. From the quiet hills of Trelawney to the brightest stages on Earth, Usain Bolt's journey is a testament to what is possible when talent meets determination. He didn't just run fast. He ran into history. And even now, years after his final race, the world still measures speed by one name: Usain Bolt.
The world first met Ronda Rousey as a storm, loud, fearless, and impossible to ignore. But storms are not born overnight. They gather slowly, shaped by pressure, silence, and unseen forces. And Ronda's story began not with noise, but with struggle. She entered the world on February 1st, 1987 in Riverside, California, under conditions that could have defined her limits before she even took her first breath. The umbilical cord wrapped tightly around her neck deprived her brain of oxygen. Doctors delivered devastating news to her family. She might suffer permanent damage. Speech could be difficult, learning could be delayed, her future uncertain. For years, Ronda lived in a world where words didn't come easily. While other children laughed, spoke, and expressed themselves freely, she struggled to form sentences. Every syllable felt like a battle. Her family refused to accept defeat. They moved to North Dakota in search of better therapy, determined to give her a chance at a normal life. But normal was never going to define Ronda Rousey. Because even in silence, something was building inside her. A pressure, a frustration, a hunger to be understood. And then, life dealt her a blow that no child should have to endure. At just 8 years old, she lost her father. Ron Rousey had been a strong guiding presence, but a severe back injury followed by a degenerative condition left him in constant pain. Facing a life he felt he could no longer live, he made a heartbreaking decision to end it. The loss was sudden, confusing, and deeply scarring. For young Ronda, it created a void, but also a realization. Life could be brutally unfair, and survival required strength. Her mother, Anne Maria DeMars, refused to let that pain destroy her daughter. Instead, she channeled it. Anne Maria wasn't just any mother. She was a world champion judoka, the first American to achieve that honor. She understood discipline, sacrifice, and mental toughness at the highest level, and she raised Ronda with those same expectations. There was no room for excuses. Training began early, and it was relentless. Judo became Ronda's outlet, her language, her identity. Where words failed her, movement spoke. Where emotions overwhelmed her, technique grounded her. Every throw, every grip, every fall was a lesson, not just in fighting, but in control. And Anne Maria was unforgiving. If Ronda made mistakes, she heard about it. If she showed weakness, she was pushed harder. Love in that household came through preparation, through toughness, through the belief that the world would not be kind, and she had to be stronger than it. By her teenage years, Ronda was no longer just a student. She was a competitor. Traveling across the world, she faced opponents who had been training their entire lives. Many underestimated her. Some dismissed her entirely. They didn't understand what she carried into every match. Pain, loss, silence, determination. At 17, she qualified for the 2004 Olympics in Athens, becoming one of the youngest judokas in the competition. It was a massive achievement, but it wasn't enough for her. She didn't go there to participate, she went there to win. And when she didn't medal, it stayed with her. Failure wasn't just a result, it was something she felt deeply, something that lingered long after the matches ended. But Ronda didn't walk away. She came back stronger. 4 years later, at the 2008 Olympics in Beijing, everything came together. The years of brutal training, the emotional scars, the relentless drive, it all led to this moment. She fought with intensity that bordered on ferocity. And when it was over, Ronda Rousey stood on the podium with a bronze medal, becoming the first American woman to win an Olympic medal in judo. It should have been the peak of her journey. Instead, it felt like falling off a cliff. Because when the Olympics ended, so did the structure of her life. No more training camps, no more clear goals, no more identity tied to competition. Ronda found herself adrift. She struggled financially, working as a bartender, even sleeping in her car at times. The world that once celebrated her didn't have a place for her anymore. The medal didn't pay bills. The glory didn't provide direction. For the first time in years, she was lost. But sometimes, losing everything forces you to discover who you really are. That discovery came in an unexpected form: mixed martial arts. At the time, women's MMA was barely recognized. It lacked visibility, respect, and opportunity. But the moment Ronda stepped into that world, something shifted. She wasn't just good. She was terrifying. Her judo background gave her a unique advantage. Once she got her hands on an opponent, the fight was often over. Her signature armbar became her weapon. Fast, precise, and almost inevitable. Fight after fight ended the same way. Quick. Decisive. Dominant. Soon, Strikeforce took notice. And then came the moment that changed everything. Not just for Ronda, but for women in combat sports. The Ultimate Fighting Championship signed her. It was historic. When she faced Liz Carmouche in 2013, it wasn't just a fight, it was the first women's bout in UFC history. The spotlight was intense, the expectations were massive, and Ronda delivered. She won via armbar, her signature move, proving that women's MMA didn't just belong, it could headline. From that moment on, she became unstoppable. Manisha Tate, Kat Zingano, Betha Correa. One by one, they fell. Some fights lasted less than a minute. She wasn't just winning, she was rewriting what dominance looked like. Ronda Rousey became the face of the UFC, a global superstar. She appeared in movies, on talk shows, on magazine covers. She wasn't just a fighter anymore. She was a movement. But fame comes with pressure. And pressure creates cracks. On November 15th, 2015, she stepped into the octagon against Holly Holm.
Everyone expected another quick finish. Instead, they witnessed something no one had prepared for. Holm's striking was sharp, calculated, relentless. And then it happened. A head kick that echoed across the sports world. Ronda fell. For the first time, she lost. The defeat wasn't just public. It was deeply personal. She withdrew from the spotlight, questioned her identity, faced a darkness she had never fully confronted before. The invincibility was gone. The aura was shattered. And when she returned to face Amanda Nunes in 2016, the result was decisive. Another loss. Another ending. Her career in MMA closed not with triumph, but with harsh reality. But endings can be beginnings in disguise. In 2018, Ronda stepped into a new world, professional wrestling. Joining WWE, she faced a different kind of challenge. It wasn't just about fighting. It was about storytelling, performance, connection. Many doubted her. But doubt had always been part of her story. She proved them wrong again. At WrestleMania 35, she stood in the main event of the biggest show in wrestling, part of the first all-women's headliner in WrestleMania history. Another barrier broken. Another legacy secured. Beyond the spotlight, Ronda began building a different life. She explored acting, writing, and eventually motherhood, embracing roles that went beyond competition. The fighter who once defined herself by winning began to understand something deeper. That strength isn't just about dominance. It's about resilience, about getting back up when everything falls apart. Because Ronda Rousey's story isn't perfect. It's raw. It's painful. It's human. From a child who struggled to speak, to an Olympic medalist, to a UFC champion, to a global icon who redefined what women could achieve in combat sports. Her journey is a reminder that greatness is not built on victories alone. It's built on survival, on loss, on the courage to keep going when the world expects you to break. And in the end, Ronda Rousey didn't just fight opponents. She fought herself. And that was her greatest battle of all.